Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Happy to have you here. Welcome to the City of Watauga's second annual Small Business Week Luncheon. I am Jackie Reif, your Planning and Development Manager for the city. For planning purposes, the restrooms are located on both sides of out here. If you go this way, it's the second door to your right. If you go this way, it's the second door to your left. That's very important. We are really happy to have you all here and that you've taken time out of your busy schedules to join us today. This microphone is for the recording that we're making, so we can put it on our YouTube channel. So I'm going to speak as loud as I can to you all, but know that this is for that purpose. We are very fortunate to have an excellent group of speakers here today, providing information and sharing the resources with you so that it can help you in your business. And I want to recognize all of our wonderful businesses, small businesses that are here today in the room. You want to raise your hand, stand up? Really appreciate that. So thank you very much. I'd also like to recognize our city leaders that are in attendance. Our Mayor Pro Tem, Bob Davis. Councilwoman Melva Clark. Mayor Garcia had another appointment, but he will be joining us a little later. The office of Kelly Hancock, State Senator serving Texas's District 9, is represented today by Susan Young. And Jack Bradshaw, if he's still here, he's still here? Okay, he's the president and CEO of the Northeast Tarrant Chamber of Commerce. Everyone, please feel free to ask questions after each presentation. We hope that you leave today with renewed optimism. This is an exciting time for commerce and business in North Texas and the DFW area. And with that, I would like to introduce our city manager, Greg Vick. Greg has served as city manager since 2013 for the city of Watauga.
I too want to welcome you, and I also want to welcome you and tell you that we're glad you're here, and we're glad you have your business in Watauga. And we want your business to be successful, and if we ever can help you with something, and we want to know. And I know Jackie and or Denise, everybody met Denise when they're coming in, has been by your office. And we try to see every business in town at least once a year, which can be a little bit challenging, but we do try to come by and just say hello and check how you're doing, and if anything's changing, if there's something going on that the city might be able to impact that makes your business better. And I love when businesses tell me stuff like that, because sometimes we can actually take care of it. And I'm going to tell you one of those stories in just a second. But I thought I'd touch on a few things about our area in general. North Texas, I mean, we all know we're very fortunate to live in this part of the state and this part of the country. Our economy has been relatively strong and has enough diversity in it nowadays. Used to, when the oil industry collapsed, we just all kind of rolled up the sidewalks and went home. But you know, in the 50s and 60s and 70s, and I remember doing that when gas prices collapsed in 79 and 80 and 81. It was a tough time for Texas for a while there. But we've diversified a lot more today. And of course, DFW Airport, which is very close to us, coming in is such an economic engine for the whole area that it just brings people from all over the world to live and work here. And we're very fortunate. The North Texas area, which I believe is about a 17-county region, here's some interesting statistics. We grow by one person every 5 minutes in North Texas. That equates to 2,016 people a week in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, in the Metroplex area. Our population in 2020 is projected to be nearly 7.9 million among those, which will probably put us well, we'll probably still be number 4 behind New York, L.A., and Chicago. But obviously one of the biggest economies in the country and kind of in the world. The median age in North Texas, 34 years old. So it's a young population by my standards today. And interestingly enough, that mirrors Watauga. Our average age is 34 also in Watauga. So interesting statistic. We've seen some good things happening in Watauga, and I'm going to touch on those in just a minute. Home prices of the 20 largest areas to live in the country, which is where most of the population in the United States lives, our home prices are the 4th lowest of those 20. So real estate, while we've seen some tremendous increases, if any of you bought or sold homes in the last 3 or 4 years, you've probably been shocked at what you paid and what you may have sold your house for too. They have increased radically. People, spend 3 and make 3 and 4 and 5 offers on a house before they can get one that they got the highest bid on. That's different than what it was 10 years ago. Our gross domestic product in North Texas, if North Texas, this 17 county area, was a state, our gross domestic product would be the 9th largest in the country. Think about that for a minute. That's crazy. That's overwhelming. If we were a country, if North Texas was a country, we'd be the 23rd largest economy in the world, right here in this area. And I do believe that little airport 18 miles down the road is a big part of it. It just has changed so much of the world. You can get on that airplane and find yourself in Taiwan or Tokyo in a matter of 10, 12, 15 hours. The globe is available to us, and that's important. North Texas is the home of 21 Fortune 500 companies. And a lot of times those companies are very well established that have been in their location for maybe 5 to 10 decades. And so we grew a lot in the last 5 to 10 decades, and yet we still have 21 of the top 500. There's 56 direct flights out of DFW to international locations, and I'm going to guess there's probably more than that. A few statistics about us in Watauga. Our average age is 34. Our home prices have increased too. We just saw the numbers from the Tarrant Appraisal District, which if you own a home, you probably got a notice from them as well. And it may have shocked you, or you may have thought, I was afraid of this. My home may be worth that much if you really look at it. So that's your own individual decision. But our home prices in Watauga, according to them, went up 20% this last year. Now, overall, the average ends up being about 11 to 13, but the average house was up that much. A few other things that I'm proud to be a part of, and I know our city council members here are also, is what we've done with economic development today. We reach out to you. And basically there's 2 major functions, and you can fit a number of categories into these 2 that economic development departments normally use, and they're essentially retention, business retention, and business attraction. We want to grow our economy, and we want to keep the people that are here in business. And so those are the 2 goals for most all cities. And we do a number of things to do that, but I'll touch on a few of them. As you know, we do support visits to our businesses. Those may be where we help them with aid, where we look at things like occasionally your business may have been highlighted in one of our spotlights that we put in our newsletter and on the web page and some other places. We do recognition when you have your 5-year anniversary dates. You'll get, I think it's 5 years, you'll get a thing from us, and usually it'll be delivered by one of the staff people. We do ribbon cuttings and some other things that kind of fall into, just as needed categories. The example I'll give you is probably in the last half of last year. I wish I could remember the exact date. Is we were doing, I say we, the department, the division, we're doing visits on the businesses up at the north end of 377. And a few of them were talking about we had traffic problems up there. And when I say this, you probably will acknowledge it. The problem that was affecting them is people were feeling like they couldn't get over there easy enough because northbound traffic on 377 was backing up at North Tarrant, primarily because too many people wanted to make left turns to go to the west, out there, which is a very, 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 very fast-growing area, and we're just 5 miles from there. And so we picked up the phone and we called Keller and we called TxDOT and said, what could you do to turn that into a double left turn lane? I think by the time we hung up from the phone, they had done it. And, I'm not going to promise you we get that kind of results, but it's a double left turn lane. And part of it is because we asked, and that part is because we became aware of it. We may try to do things and may not be successful at them sometimes, but if you'll tell us, we'll work on it. And just let us know. We want to know that because we want your business to have every opportunity to be successful. We want you to have every opportunity to be successful. And sometimes there's things we can't do anything about, and sometimes there's things that we can do easily that you may not even know. So feel free to call us. We don't just want to talk to you once every 6 months or a year. We want to talk to you anytime you need us. And I'm hopefully our phone number and that information is all on the web page. The other side of the equation, real quick, is contacts, is on the business attraction side. And so we make contacts. We reach out, whether it's by mail, phone call, or personal visits, depending on where they're located. Sometimes the company's located in Chicago, and so we have to do that by telephone, email, and other materials. We do site marketing. We list available sites on our webpage. We talk to brokers about those sites. I was calling one and sending them an email yesterday, and I know they do it a lot more than I do. We do things like we attend the International Shopping Center Conference, which is basically a big retail function that takes place. There's one national one, which is in Las Vegas most years now. And then Texas, our economy has been so strong, as I was reading to you at the beginning. We have one that's, some people refer to it as the Texas Deal-Making Conference. And that's in Dallas, and Jackie and Denise have gone to that the last 1 or 2 years. And we'll spread the word about sites that people have in town, opportunities. We're making improvements to Bursey Road, which is now finished if you haven't been up there. And we've got some professional offices at the corner of Bursey and Whitley, and we're hoping we can get professional offices on the south side of Bursey now, where it's got a brand new concrete 4-lane street. And we're looking for opportunities there. Real quick, the council just recently adopted the One Watauga plan, which is a big master plan. It's a tool. It's something that gives us instruments that we can reach into and use for different situations, whether it's about transportation or economic development or land use. Parks, trails, intersections that need widening, things like that, branding opportunities for the city. All of those things have tools that are listed in there that can be used for different purposes. And so that just creates a set of opportunities that we can do when we have those ideas in there. They're referenced. We know if somebody walks in and says, I want to go build apartments on this site, and we can say, you can apply for any zoning application if you want to, but when the council discussed this plan and the P&Z discussed this plan, and when we got feedback from all the public meetings we had, citizens said they really wanted this. And I know this might be a little bit easier to get a zoning change on than something that we had no support for. And so we can head stuff off before people go out and do something that may be kind of silly for a particular piece of land. And that's just a minor example. But I want to thank you again for having your business in our community. You mean a lot to us. And if we can ever do anything for you, if you have any questions, I think most of you, unless you came in at the last minute, got one of my cards. But those two ladies that work with us on a regular basis, and Patricia, I'm sorry, Patricia was out there having people register also. We want to know, because we're here for you. And you just let us know, and we will help you any way we can. Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you, Greg. Okay, and our next speaker is Robin Lasher. She's the director of the Tarrant Small Business Development Center. So welcome, Robin, and we'll get her presentation up and running.
Well, good afternoon. It is certainly a pleasure to be here. How many of y'all have ever heard of the Small Business Development Center? Woohoo! That's 4 words. Where do we come up with 4 words? Well, we didn't name ourselves. We actually were created by the Small Business Administration. How many of y'all have ever heard of the SBA? They created us. They provide our main grant, and they decided that they would use 4 words. If you're a business owner, never get more than 3 words in your business name, because people won't remember your name. And usually people don't always remember our name, so SBDC is fine. Small Business Assistance is fine. Whatever works for you. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the SBDC, what our services are, and how we can actually assist you as a small business owner. We're the largest management assistance program serving the U.S. business sector. Collaboration of SBA, state, local, and private sector funding sources. So the SBA provides our main grant. We get funding from the state of Texas when we create jobs. We are an economic development program. And local, we're hosted by Tarrant County College. They are my employer. So I'm employed by Tarrant County. I have policies and procedures that are overseen by our North Texas region, which reports to the SBA. And I actually also have the opportunity to interact with the SBA. I know all of those people here. So, really I have 3 bosses. And it works really well. We are here, we have very specific goals, very specific services we offer. And so it's it has always been let's say the partners communicate very effectively together. There's over 900 centers nationwide. Our center, we are just one center in Tarrant County, but we have 4 offices. We provide technical assistance to existing and startup small businesses. Technical, that sounds so technical. It almost sounds, that doesn't sound very warm and fuzzy. We are very warm and fuzzy, but those services, are provided by 5 advisors. Again, we have 4 offices. We have 4 full-timers and 1 part-timer. Our advisors have banking, accounting, finance, and operational experience. I owned my first business for 18 years in Tarrant County. And I won't say exactly when. I might date myself a little bit. But then I owned another business for 7 years, a market research company. And I came on board with Tarrant SBDC in '99 as a part-timer. Left in 2007 to become a director. And how many of y'all know where Navarre County is? Y'all know where Ellis County is? Well, you have to keep going south. I had 4 rural counties, very, very different environment. Y'all have no idea how thrilled I was when 2 years ago the position in Tarrant County came open. It really was a great experience, but the metro area and rural areas do operate very differently. At the end of the day, something very common, small businesses themselves have very common issues and very common challenges that they have to face. So we have a full suite of services to facilitate your access to capital. Primary area we work in is helping you get funding, helping you understand what the best sources of funding are. So yes, we actually sit down with you. We'll help you with financial projections. We'll help you with identifying who are the lenders or other sources of funding that can help you start or grow that small business. And there's no cost. Your tax dollars have already paid for it, so we do not charge for our advising services. Our QuickBooks class, we just had an online beginners class last night. We do charge for those classes. Aside from that, we don't charge for what we call our troubleshooting, where a QuickBooks Pro advisor, which is one of our employees, will come out and help you troubleshoot your QuickBooks. So our services, business loan assistance, financial analysis and benchmarking. How many of y'all know what benchmarking is? What that means? So benchmarking, never heard of this term. How does your business compare to the brothers or sisters, other businesses similar to yours? And I'm going to tell you about a tool in just a second that you can go and benchmark your startup or your existing business. QuickBooks troubleshooting, we are not your accountants. We don't come in and do your bookkeeping for you. But when something doesn't seem right with QuickBooks, we will come in and troubleshoot and say, well, this is what's not exactly correct. I can't tell you how many times small businesses will get QuickBooks and then they get a little bit overwhelmed because they say, well, I'll just use it for invoicing. That won't really help you with your financial statements, but it is a very popular way to use QuickBooks. Probably one of the most important things is knowing that your financial information in QuickBooks is correct. So those are areas that we can look at your financials, look at the QuickBooks and say, you know what, you need to do this a little differently. And again, there's no charge for those services. Business plans. If you're a startup business and you're looking for funding, you're going to have a business plan. On the other hand, you want to, don't take any lender a 50-page business plan. Don't do it. Really, you're typically looking at maybe 6 to 12 pages and getting down to the facts, and yes, including financial projections, and we can assist you with that. If you're an existing business, it's really important to have a plan if you're going to go to any type of a lender for funding. But I'm going to tell you right now, you probably are able to zero in on what's important, and that plan may only need to be 6 or 8 pages. Market research. We have numerous databases that we work with. That is one of our areas of expertise. And market research, of course, is not marketing. We help with marketing too, but market research is what information do you need for not just growing your business, but identifying locally, who are your competitors? Who are the potential customers out there? And one of our tools, Size Up, I'll tell you about in just a second here, but there are resources that you have access to that can assist you in finding information. The databases we have within our office that only we can access dive very deep into different areas. So market research resources, Demographics Now is our demographics database. Industry reports, IBIS World, First Industry Research. IBIS World covers about every industry you could possibly think of out there, and they're very detailed reports. And again, we don't charge for that. Financial analysis, we actually have tools that we can run your financials through, and it kind of spits out a report letting you know what's maybe not right or what's wrong or what's perfect. And on our side as financial advisors, we do the analysis also. Business valuation, what's the value of your business? And if you're thinking of buying a business, wouldn't it be nice to know, on average, what does a business in this industry really look like in terms of the value of the business? You never want to pay more than you have to. There is no business valuation database that can give you each and every fact. And typically, when a client comes to us and says, we want to sell our business or we want to buy this business, we are more than happy to step in with them and give them a little bit more of a specific numeric value and what the opportunities of that business are. And then business profiles. Y'all may be familiar with something called Dun & Bradstreet. That's been out there a long, long time. Hoover's focuses on some larger companies, maybe companies you want to sell to. Whereas Reference USA, we can any day of the week go out there and create lists of target markets for you, of businesses you can actually target. Typically, local libraries will have access to this. We just have kind of an unlimited access that we can create larger lists. And Size Up. Size Up, you have a handout. This is about 6 pages. It very specifically is on the city of Watauga, but I don't care where you have your business located in Watauga or anywhere in Tarrant County. You can plug in that industry and it will compare your business to other local businesses. It won't tell you who they are, but it will compare them in terms of, okay, so I'm I own a beauty salon. That's what I owned for 18 years, by the way, beauty supplies and beauty salons, several of them. But I own a beauty salon. It's in Tarrant County. In fact, very specifically, it's in Fort Worth. Or maybe it's in Watauga. And my revenues are $200,000 a year. I have 4 employees. You know, I started in 2000 and, well, I won't tell you when I started, but that way back when. But maybe you started one in 2012. It will automatically generate reports for you that tell you, so how do you compare to the other salons in the region? Is 200,000 really an average? Is it above average? 4 employees, is that good? You know, is that more than most salons have? Is it less? So any industry you can imagine, you can go into this tool and plug in the industry, just a keyword like beauty. And any industry related to beauty will pop up. If you have a welding company, if you're welders, you put in welding. Every type of related industry will pop up. You click on it, then you choose the city, and there you go. You start creating reports. You can actually even put in a physical address. Every address in Tarrant County is in this database. And you put in that address, go in and actually do a drive time or a radius around that address. You choose it. You say, I want a 10-minute drive time from this address. Because let's face it, when I wanted clients coming to my beauty salon, did I care if it was a perfect little radius? Y'all know what a radius is around a location? It's just like, well, I want a 10-mile radius around this location. When y'all go, ladies, when you go to your local beauty salon, do you drive or fly there? You drive. And that's called a drive time. You can say, I want 10-minute drive time from this address. You know, but regardless of if you sell to the consumer or to other businesses, it's a fabulous tool. When we, and this is something we pay for at the SBDC, it's not a cheap date, but you don't pay a dime. And guess what? You have 24/7 access to it. You don't need a username. You don't need a password. You just go right into the tool. And I do believe it's hosted on Watauga's city site. So y'all can actually get in there and do all the analysis. Now again, we have databases that dig deeper, but this is a great tool for you to get started with. And it's you can even now, and they didn't do it before now, but during the last 3 months, you can now download PDF reports for whatever you're researching on. So, our 4 locations, one at the Business Assistance Center here in Fort Worth. We're upstairs, Score's downstairs. Mike Reid's going to speak to you in a minute. We also have 2 locations in Arlington, and we have one in North Richland Hills. If you have any questions whatsoever, do not hesitate to contact me. I've got business cards. We'd like to be able to help you or assist you in any way in starting or growing that small business. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Robin. Next up, we have Elsie Collins, Deputy District Director, it's a lot of D's, of the Dallas-Fort Worth District Office of the U.S. Small Business Administration. So welcome, Elsie.
Good morning. I'm not sure my presentation is there. I emailed it. I didn't get a chance to email it until this morning, and then once I got to the parking lot and I was celebrating that I actually made it here on time and without getting lost, I realized, where's my flash drive? It's on my desk.
Oh.
So let me see. I emailed it the last minute, so it may or may not be in there.
Okay,
but,
we can find it.
I'll check and see. So.
Okay. So you need to go into your email. So I need to log out, right? Go ahead and log in. I'm going to give this to you. I want to start.
Okay. Good morning. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here. Like they had indicated, I'm Elsie Collins. I'm the Deputy District Director for the Dallas-Fort Worth District Office. I have the pleasure of working in the Dallas office with Herb Austin, who is our District Director, and then also our Regional Administrator is Yolanda Oliveira. So on behalf of both of them, we want to extend thank you for having us, and then to all of the business owners, happy Small Business Week. We appreciate what you do as small business owners, and we wish you all the success. So I will If it's there, I can keep. Okay. All right.
Microsoft, every time a new person logs into the computer, it has to go through this rigmarole. We'll get there.
Okay. Oh, no problem.
there.
Oh, no problem. No problem.
I think I can turn the fans off. Fans off? Sure. Thank you. This group over here is freezing. Shivering from your brother's teeth chattering.
Okay. All right.
Wonders of technology.
I'm telling you. Clicker.
This is can we use your clicker, Robin?
Okay.
Okay.
Which one? Forward. Okay, they got it. You guys are great.
Has it been launched yet? Yeah.
Okay, Small Business Administration. We're a small federal agency with a huge mandate. We basically have 3 big goals that they've tasked us with. We call it the 3 C's. One of them is access to capital, making sure that we improve access to capital as far as making sure aspiring entrepreneurs and business owners have access to capital. The second thing is counseling and training, and with the counseling and training, which is a major piece with SBA, and one of the ways, as far as the counseling and training, we use the Small Business Development Center, which Robin just finished talking, and then SCORE, which Mike Reid is going to be up shortly after. They're tasked with the training and the counseling that, for all the training and counseling. Robin, like she spoke about the SBDC, let me just go ahead and echo it. They do an amazing job with the counseling and business advising, and if you haven't been there, I'd stop over there. Last night I was with Collin County at an event that they had, and just, it's amazing really what they do, and talking to some of the business owners who are currently working with SBDC, and they're excited and they are amazed, and not really amazed not knowing that these type of resources were out there. So that's a major component for, as far as we're concerned. It's one of our assets is to be able to refer to SCORE and to SBDC. And Mike is going to tell you a little bit about SCORE and what they do, but they also do an amazing job too, so I won't steal his thunder, but those two are incredible partners, and we couldn't do what we do without our resource partners. The other thing that we do has to do with contracting. There are going to be different businesses that want to do business with the government. So we have a division within our office that helps individuals get started with federal contracting. So capital, counseling, and contracting are the big pieces with SBA. What we try and do is advocate for all the small businesses. There are about 28 million small businesses across the country, and we want to be the voice of the small businesses and make sure they actually have the resources that they actually need. So our goal is to support small businesses from startup to the realization of their ultimate goals. You don't necessarily have to just be starting up. It's 5 years in, 10 years in, 20 years in. We've got various programs that are out there that are geared toward helping businesses to grow. One of the programs in particular, when you talk about a business that has been in business for a while and now you're at the next stage and I'm looking to grow. The Small Business Administration has an emerging leaders program that we launch every year, and we always look for candidates for the program. For that program, it's a 7-month program, and it's absolutely free. They meet every 2 weeks in Dallas, and it's from April until October. So we'll get in December, January, February, we start recruiting and looking for different businesses to partake of the training program. Excellent training program, and so we've launched it for this year. It started a couple of weeks ago in April, and so they're meeting, and so it's an amazing program. to where it's, if you've been in business for 3 years and you have sales of between $400,000 and $10 million, and you have one other, as far as employees besides yourself, then you'll be eligible for the Emerging Leaders Program. So that's a fantastic program, and that's just an example of a program that's not just there for startups, but for businesses that have been in business for a while and looking to grow or make some changes in their operation or just needing some additional assistance. So our top priority as far as SBA is concerned is to ensure the health of small businesses remain strong and to make sure that the businesses are prospering, they're successful, they'll be able to create jobs and help with innovation. Small businesses, we believe, are the backbone of the U.S. economy and creating 2/3 of all the net jobs in the last few years. So our job is to continue to help the small businesses so the economy can stay strong. SBA can help businesses with building and starting and growing their business. Millions of entrepreneurs have used SBA services over the years, whether it's in the form of the counseling, lending, capital contracting, also in working with SCORE and SBDC. We've got 68 district offices across the country, and we go out and we talk about SBA programs, increase awareness, and make sure that everyone is aware of the programs that are actually available to them. We've got a website, sba.gov, and on that website you'll see all kinds of things that we're involved in. There's also free training on there, online training. There's about, there's probably about, not quite 100, about 75 different courses on there from one topic to another that you're welcome to go in there and take a look at. We service 72 counties in North Texas, East Texas, and Central Texas. In our office, we've got basically 3 divisions. We've got a lending division, and this is a team of individuals, and their sole job is to go out and meet with lenders to encourage them to do SBA loans, and then also provide training to them. We also make sure that on loans that they cannot make, we always ask them, okay, well, what are you doing with those loans that you're not being able to make that doesn't fit within your bucket? And then that's when we talk about SCORE and SBDC, and then they have done some amazing jobs with getting their business plan. So when you go to SBDC or you go to SCORE and you kind of work with and get your business plan together, then returning to the lender has been good for different businesses. This past year, for Small Business Saturday, we visited one of the businesses in Fort Worth that did everything. You know, they went to SCORE, and they went to SBDC, and then he got his loan, and he has got a fabulous restaurant in Fort Worth. It's the best hamburger I ever had in my entire life. But he did everything, you know, that he was supposed to do. It wasn't like he had all this capital coming in. When we were sitting there talking, he said, you know, the year before I started the business, I was hanging Christmas lights with a buddy, you know. So but he did all of the things, and he did the research, and he followed what SBA and SCORE had said, and it took him a little time, but successful business. So that's just an example of how, you know, the resources are there, and they do help. It takes some time, but it's definitely out there for you. Just an example of some of the different, as far as access to capital. We've got the 7A and 504 loans, which are just basically SBA loans, some for equipment, some for just regular businesses, business loans for equipment, real estate, or whatever. Also, people may not be aware of that just like we have the guaranteed SBA loans, there's surety bonds that are available that with a guarantee as well. Exporting. Some businesses are involved in taking it to the next level, and they want to be involved in exporting. There's exporting SBA loans as well for exporting, and then we also offer workshops and offer webinars on a monthly basis at the district office on a variety of topics. We also have another team in our office that's our contracting team, and they work with different businesses to get them to the point to where they're have an opportunity for federal contracts. And then we also have an economic development team in our office, and what this team does is they go out and they actually talk to the different organizations and the cities and the counties and different communities to bring awareness of SBA and see how SBA can partner and bring the information to their members and promote SBA programs and services. SCORE and SBDC, we've got the Emerging Leaders, we've got free online courses, And then throughout the year, there'll be different programs or initiatives that SBA will come out with that can benefit different organizations. One of the ones that's going to come out this week is an accelerator grant competition for $50,000. And hopefully by this afternoon, we'll be able to put that out. There was some language in there that they were still trying to work on. But they'll have different things in terms of opportunities to compete for those different funds, different organizations. And let's see. One of the things I wanted to bring your attention to is the Dallas-Fort Worth District Office. We cover about 72 counties. And it's from a lending perspective, last year was a record year for us. For the Dallas-Fort Worth area, we had 1,982 loans that were made for $1 billion. And that was the first time that we've actually reached $1 billion, which was fantastic. And of course, once you reach the $1 billion, and they raise the bar. So right now, for the first 7 months of our fiscal year, we're doing pretty good. We're at the halfway mark, and we're at 611. So we're on target to hit and exceed that, and so we're going to keep things going there. We also work with the micro lenders too. At some point, some businesses are not at a point to where they actually need a guaranteed SBA loan, that need to work. It's just a smaller amount to get started. And we also work with 3 of the micro lenders here in the Metroplex, and the average loan I think is about $12,000 for the micro lenders. And so we're trying to do a little bit more things and promote that a little bit better. And so that's really one of the initiatives that we have for the latter part of this year. And then also, just to kind of give you an idea, when I talked about doing business with the government, the federal government does about $400 billion a year in goods and services. And by statute, 23% of those purchases have to be set aside for small businesses. So, that's almost $100 billion that's available for small businesses. And so that's one of the things that we have a team in place that are helping businesses to do business with the federal government. So we've got all kinds of training programs. They have certification programs every month at our office. They're absolutely free. And they also do them at the SBDC in Dallas at the first of the month as well. So you can check out our website. I've got cards available for you. Also, one of the things too, which I left out front if you didn't get a copy of, is the Small Business Resource Guide. Inside this guide, it has every program, all the lenders that make loans with SBA are in here, all of the micro lenders, federal contracting. Anything you want to know about SBA, here's our 2016 resource guide, and we're happy to answer any questions if you want to call SBA. And so thank you for having me. And I know I went fast, but I think that's all I think that's all I got. All right, thank you.
All right, thank you, Elsie. And I'd like to welcome now Robin Donovan. She is the Coordinator of Special Projects, Corporate Solutions, and Economic Development. Now that's a long job title. With the Tarrant County College District.
We definitely did not follow the 4-word limit on that one. Hi, everyone. I'm here today with Kim Golan, and she's handing out some flyers for you guys. But I'm here to talk to you about our department and some opportunities we have for small businesses. We're the branch of Tarrant County College that deals directly with businesses. So all of our programs and our training is designed to meet your needs. We do everything from computer classes, could be an Excel class, a leadership class, technical class such as like welding or CNC machining, ESL, just pretty much any of your needs. We come in and we work with companies to design custom classes that really suit your needs. So if we did an Excel class, it wouldn't just be a generic off-the-shelf class. We would use your spreadsheets so that your employees could get familiar and be able to take that back to their job. We are located at the Tarrant County College Opportunity Center, which if you go down 820 South and Northeast Campus, we're over there across the street from Dunbar High School. We also have a center up by Alliance Airport where we provide this training. We can also come out to your company site and do the training there. But what I wanted to talk to you about today was that our department is the official department that works with the Texas Workforce Commission for Skills for Small Business and Skills Development Fund grants. So our department helps businesses like you put together training plans and applications so that the state will actually pick up the cost of the training. And Kim Golan is here today. She is our official grant writer, and we're going to tell you a little bit, just the quick requirements of the Skills for Small Business grant, and then we'll stick around afterwards for any questions you may have, okay?
Well, I'm really excited to be here, and I get the opportunity to work with grants with TWC. I get the opportunity, and I really get excited when I get to work with the small businesses, because I know how critical it is. I know how important it is to develop your workforce, to grow your workforce, to give them the tools they need so that it furthers your business. So when I get the opportunity to work with the small businesses, it's just really a really thrilling thing for me. Now, like Robin just said, Texas Workforce Commission is the funder of a Skills for Small Business grant. It is basically what I call free training. What it is, it's a 12-month grant that allows you, and it's a continuous cycle. It's something that you can keep applying for and applying for. It's non-competitive. It's a very simple process and quick turnaround on getting approval. Maximum typically about 2 weeks. What it is it allows you as a company to send your employees or send yourself to any training that is offered through Tarrant County College, through any community college. But for Tarrant County area, it would be Tarrant County College. It's credit, non-credit, online, anything along those lines, any certifications. With Corporate Solutions, we do a lot of customized training that's very specific to your exact company's needs. So we can take something off the shelf and use your information, use what you need to make it very, very specific for your company. But this type of grant is, like I said, is very simple. It is required that only full-time people can take this course. So we can't do part-time, we can't do temporary employees. But what it is you could get $1,800 funding for a year for a new hire employee. The state's come in and said new hire employees is actually someone that you have hired within that 12 months. So basically, an employee you've had for over a year can get $1,800 worth of funding. Now, an incumbent worker that's been there longer than that, you can get $900 worth of free training. And it's just a very easy process. You can go in and find out what courses we have, communicate with Robin or myself, do research for you. But it is an absolutely wonderful opportunity that I would really stress to all of y'all. And, you know, we're talking computers, we're talking leadership, we're talking QuickBooks, we're talking anything that we have to offer, we can look at for you and see if we can get you that opportunity. And like I said, we love these opportunities. We know how critical the small business is, and we want to be there to help you through all of your process. With all these other tools that you have, here's one extra tool that is provided by the Texas Workforce Commission. And it's called a Skills for Small Business grant. So very simple. Any questions you have, we're here to help you. I'm there through the whole entire process of getting your paperwork taken care of. Robin and myself are there through all the way through the training as the years and years go by that you keep using us. So thank you. And
yeah, and just a couple more words. Like Kim said, this grant is revolving, so every 12 months the funding resets. We've had a couple companies who are getting ready. They've concluded their first year, and now they're looking forward to the next year. One of the great things is, unlike most government programs, it's actually pretty simple. And they're very flexible. So that was kind of a surprise for us, but it's been really wonderful to work with. We've had several companies who 3 or 4 months into their process said, oh, well, we have 2 new people we would like to add, or we'd like to add a couple classes here and there, and it's very, very simple to go in and add that. So it takes the stress off of you of planning out all of your training a year in advance. That's a lot to ask. So that's one of the things we really like about it. And if you're interested in that, just Kim and I'll hang out a little bit afterwards and get in touch with us. So, thank you.
Thank you, Robin and Kim, again. We are very fortunate to speak with you today, Mike Reid. He's the chapter chair of SCORE, and he can tell you all about what SCORE can offer to your small businesses as well.
Thanks, Jackie. Good afternoon. It's intimidating. We have a note taker. It makes me feel compelled to say something important and worth writing down, and I'm not sure you're going to get that. So SCORE has been around for over 50 years, part of the SBA, as you've already heard. Originally started as SCORE, Service Corps of Retired Executives, also meaning we're not dead yet. We can do something for you. It's not, we don't use that term anymore because now we go with for the life of your business. And we're not all retired, all of our mentors. I am. So Robin had 3 bosses. I have no bosses. Well, I have 4. I have 4 grandchildren, so I kind of have 4 bosses. But we have 33 members of the Fort Worth chapter. Some are still in business. About 10% or 20% of them are still in business. We represent all types of industries. A lot have been business owners, bought and sold businesses. Been in corporate life, worked in nonprofits. We run the gamut of experience. We have some young folks who do social media. So if you need help on social media, I'm not going to talk to you about that. We have people who can help you with that. A lot of our folks, the clients that we meet with, are startups. And so we focus on business planning and really trying to help them reach the fundamental answer, do I want to do this business? It's their first opportunity to put a plan together and say, this is what the financial opportunity is for me. Do you want to do it? We meet a lot of people who went into it not understanding what the financial opportunity was going to be. And they got out of it pretty quickly. So we try and help them get to that answer for themselves. Is this something that's worth getting into for you? Is it going to give you the return you're looking for? So we focus on the business plan with those folks. When they're ready for the capital conversation, we bring them upstairs to Robin's group, and they handle the financial conversation. If you're looking, if you hear me say business planning, you're all in business, so you don't need SCORE. We work, probably about 30% of our clients are in business. We have a lot of people who do come to us, and they're a little bit frazzled, and instead of doing ready, aim, fire, they did fire, and now they're saying, what is going on? And they are being managed by their business rather than managing business. And so we talk to a lot of existing businesses in terms of, in some cases, we kind of have to roll back a little bit and say, well, what was your intent? What did you want to start? I just wanted to sell something, and now all these people are coming, and I don't know what to do. Well, okay, so let's start to roll back a little bit and understand what we're trying to accomplish here and get some control over what your business is trying to do. And so we'll work a lot in kind of reverse business planning to try and get you to the point where you feel in control of your business. You feel like you're running it instead of being run by it. We work with a lot of businesses that have been purchased, and so they're in transition. We've worked with businesses where the office manager bought the business and is now transitioning from office manager to office owner, and all of the pluses and minuses of doing things like that. We've worked on businesses that have relocated and trying to hire staffing. I've worked with a business that 29 years. They've been in business, and their business, their customer base is changing. They worked heavy-duty laundry equipment, $70,000, $80,000 machines, sold to hospitals and hotels and everybody. Well, the hospitals and hotels have consolidated. Their market has pretty much dried up. 29-year business. I want to retire. Where do we go? So there are a lot of things that we can do with existing businesses, including we offer what we call an advisory board, where we'll come in at whatever frequency you want. Usually it's maybe once a quarter, and 2 or 3 of us will show up at your doorstep depending on what expertise you're looking for, and we'll just act as advisors to you. It's your business. You're making all the choices. You're making all the decisions, but it gives you a chance to get input from some other folks who've maybe been down the road that you're going to, and just get some ideas on how you can expand or improve or become more profitable. So we are flexible in the sense that we can really try and meet your need in whatever way that you want to do it. We counsel mainly out of the Gwynn Center down in Fort Worth, but we're also in the Colleyville City Hall, Keller Chamber, HEB Chamber, North Richland Hills Library, the SBA office on Amon Carter. We also meet at Starbucks and wherever else you find convenient. It is something. Oh, I didn't mention. Anytime you meet with us, it's free. Meet with us once, it's free. Meet with us 100 times, it's free. We'll have people email us, call us on the phone. It's free. We do education as part of what our mission is at SCORE, and we do workshops down at the Gwynn Center. We do have a fee that we charge for that. But any individual interaction you have with any of the 33 members at SCORE, you are paying nothing. Not a bad deal. What we also try and do is we try and get you to the person with the right experience. So I may work with you on a certain part of strategic planning or in looking at the metrics, but then when we want to get into social media, we're going to bring Catherine, who just does social media, and she's going to get involved in that. If he has some tax issues, we have retired CPAs. So we try and get you into the experience that you need at that point in time. I'm not going to meet on every topic that's out there. That's not my experience. I was a general manager, so I knew a lot about a lot of different things, but I didn't know a whole bunch about any one thing. So we try and get you into the experience that will be beneficial to you at that point in time. Okay? That's my pitch. I'm going to apologize because I got to run to another commitment. I'm going to leave cards up here. If you want to call us, I said we had 33 volunteers. We have one part-time paid person, Joni. So if you call the number on the card, you're going to get Joni, and she'll set up a time where we can come out to your business, or you can come to our offices and do it that way. So whichever is convenient for you, we are here to help you. All right? Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and our last speaker of today is Caroline Waggoner with the City of North Richland Hills. She's graciously come here today to talk about the overall scope of the road reconstruction project of Roof Snow Drive. So thank you, Caroline.
This is my first time with a microphone, so bear with me. My name is Caroline Waggoner. I'm the city engineer for the City of North Richland Hills. I want to certainly thank the City of Watauga for inviting me to come here today. And I think Randy had passed some of these out earlier, so this is kind of at a glance a snapshot of what the project is. So as Jackie said, I'm going to give you an overview of the project. I would imagine most of y'all are familiar with Roof Snow. I'm a daily Roof Snow commuter, so I'm particularly excited about the project, not just because I work for the City of North Richland Hills, but because I know the project is needed, and probably you do too. You may not know Roof Snow. It's kind of an unusual name. Roof Snow was named after Rufus Snow, a farmer who died close to 90 years old back in the 50s, and Roof Snow was named after him. And much has changed since then. During the course of the project, which actually began design back in 2008, I've gotten to know a number of residents and business owners on both the Watauga and North Richland Hill side of the road, and some of those folks they own family land, family businesses, and they remember when Roof Snow was just a 2-lane road. Since then, lanes and signals have been added over the years. The section from Loop 820 to Mid-Cities was widened in 2003. The section north of High Tower was reconstructed in 2005, although no additional lanes were added with that project. At this time, the section from Ridgetop north up through the remainder of North Richland Hills and Watauga and up into Keller is at its intended section. And on our thoroughfare plan, it is not supposed to get any wider. Keller has no plans to widen, although the thoroughfare plan indicates that may become a 6-lane in the future. I believe it's just a function of them perhaps not updating their thoroughfare plan to reflect their recent decisions. Because as some of you may know, if you've driven all the way north, they recently reconstructed one of their sections too, and that was only 4 lanes. Traffic counts in the area today. Just north of High Tower, we're looking at a daily volume of about 24,000 cars. As you get into the meat of the section that we're looking to reconstruct, which is from Mid-Cities or Watauga Road up to just north of High Tower at Ridgetop Road, we're in the low to mid 30,000 range daily volume. If you go all the way south, close to 820, you're bumping up over 40,000 cars a day. So it is a very busy corridor. The section from Mid-Cities or Watauga Road, forgive me if I go back and forth on that, was identified or is identified as a P7U, which is a principal 7-lane undivided arterial on the City of North Richland Hills Master Thoroughfare Plan. Currently, it is a 5-lane configuration, and that 5 lanes, of course, is 2 travel lanes in each direction with a center turn lane. That 7-lane section will be 3 travel lanes in each direction with a center turn lane. The project is about 1.2 miles long, and in addition to just that 7-lane section, which is the continuous section, we're also adding right turn lanes where they're needed, which in this case would be on the southbound side at Watauga Road and in both directions on Hightower. The new pavement is going to be concrete, and drivability issues like the dip at Chapman are going to be addressed. I think you guys are familiar with that. Everyone knows you got to slow down. Design began on the project in 2008. Although Roof Snow is not a TxDOT jurisdictional roadway, it is a city roadway, there are federal funds involved in the project, and so we are subject to complying with the Federal Highway Administration, and TxDOT stands in place of them to help guide us through that process. So because it's a TxDOT project, it's a much lengthier project than it would be if it was just a traditional city project. We had to go through the environmental process. We began the right-of-way acquisition process in 2012. We acquired 71 temporary easements, 60 right-of-way acquisitions, and in most cases, what that was, we're talking everything from a foot that was needed to, in some cases, 15 feet that was needed, potentially even a little bit more. It varied from parcel to parcel, and in most cases, all that impacted was landscaping and sometimes parking. We didn't get into any actual structures. We didn't get into any homes. There was one home actually on the Watauga side of the road at the northwest corner of Summertime and Roof Snow that was demolished, I believe, 4 years ago. That actually wasn't directly a result of our project. Encore purchased that and took the house down because of the proximity of the overhead lines. The right-of-way acquisition, we're currently sitting at about $4.8 million that was spent to acquire that right-of-way, with 4 parcels that are still appealing. So it's been a rather expensive endeavor to date. We bid the project in December 2015, and the project was awarded by the North Richland Hills City Council in March of 2016. The lowest bid was with Kodiak Trenching and Boring for $12.1 million. As the handout that Randy has indicates, the project is going to officially start construction on May 16th, so that is 2 weeks from just this past Monday. If you've driven it recently, you've seen that they've kind of perhaps a little early or prematurely put up some signs. I think that's confusing some people because they've already indicated construction slowdown and there are no construction workers present, so that will be changing soon. The project will begin in May, and it is anticipated to take approximately 22 months to complete. It is a major project. During construction, we are going to work closely with the contractor to make sure that we are mitigating the impacts of construction with the motorists and the area residents to the greatest extent possible. We're going to have 2 travel lanes open in both the north and south directions throughout the project. The center turn lane is going to be going away for the majority of the project. And during the course of construction, even with those 2 lanes northbound and 2 lanes southbound, there are going to be some periods of time where, because they're putting in pipe or because a concrete truck is showing up, one of those lanes may be blocked. That's not going to be happening during the peak time, and that will be when there's active work present, contractors present, and inspector present, and so forth. We are going to be working to preserve driveway access to the greatest extent possible and provide signage in areas where driveways are not easily identifiable from the roadway. In the case where you're driving down and the business or the property is separated from you by the actual construction activity, and it's kind of hard to see in advance between those barricades. So that's basically it in a nutshell. I know it's kind of a lot to digest, but I would be happy to answer any questions now, and I can certainly leave some cards as well if you have think of any questions down the road, or if you have any kind of specific questions about what things are going to look like in front of your property. Yes, sir.
Chapman currently going west is not curved. How far will that be curved?
I believe it's about 150 feet, probably. It's going to be widened very slightly to the south. That's a large Encore-owned property where their substation is there at the southwest corner. And so it's kind of flaring out there to accommodate that, but that, no, the curb does not extend very far. Yes, sir.
Caroline, just clarification, is that 150 feet measured from the center line of roof snow, or is it measured from the west drive?
It's an estimate, so let me just stick with that. If it's from the center line, I would guess it's from the center line. I'd have to check the plans to tell you for sure. I don't believe that that curbing goes as far to the west as to hit the driveway, the commercial driveway that's there on the north side of Chapman.
Past the commercial driveway for Valero?
Honestly, I'm having a hard time picturing it. I don't think it goes as far because if I'm remembering correctly, we've got the Valero and then we've got Mr. Pippin's property there. I know it doesn't go to his driveway and the detention pond that's over there. But I would be happy to, if you want to, I'll give you one of my cards. If you want to shoot me an email, I'd be happy to get you exactly what that number is. Sure. Any other questions?
How far will the right-of-way drop? Somebody's telling me it's going to be lower than what it is right now.
Roof snow is pretty flat, and we are not planning to, it almost sits kind of as a ridge line where North Richland Hills drains to the east and Watauga drains to the west. And of course, we have to, honor the drainage as it exists today and work with the section itself so that it still drains. If we lower it too much, we're not going to be able to drain efficiently. So there are some areas. It's not that the roadway itself is dropping much. It may be dropping very, very slightly, inches in some areas, but because the section is going from this wide to this wide and we're pushing it out, we're pushing out the curbs and we're adding sidewalks, which don't exist throughout the corridor today. Sometimes what it is by the time you get to that sidewalk and how that marries up to that existing parking lot or that existing fence line in the case of a residential property, there's a differential of as much as maybe a foot, maybe 15 inches or so. So that's what we're dealing with. In most cases, the sidewalk is lower. There are some cases where the sidewalk is slightly higher. So what the project would do is put in a low retaining wall there at that location to accommodate that grade difference so that we're minimizing how far back we're going into properties. Any other questions I can answer? All right, thank y'all very much.
Okay, I'll wrap it up real fast. I just want to thank you all for coming today to our Watauga Small Business Luncheon. I especially want to thank my staff, Denise Wilkinson, for putting this together. I'd like to give her a round of applause, please. And Patricia Rodriguez for helping us today with getting people in here and getting their lunches. So thank you. If we can provide any further information, please give myself, Jackie Reif, or Denise Wilkinson a phone call. We are here to serve you, and have a great rest of your day.